Welcome back to round 3 of the P2P Pro Football 2020 draft. Excited to kick things off. Still think there's a lot of good players out there, so interested to see what Green Bay does with the first pick of the third round. And we'll keep on trucking along. So, Barrios. So he's a defensive end out of Oklahoma. Decent enough strength that'll develop. He's got some speed that really could push up to 70. So between those two things, it's a developable player for sure. Endurance is good enough, definitely, and then his position skill will pick up. Only concern really is his intangibles. His disposition's pretty bad. Not the best leader, but he's competitive and has a decent enough work ethic to develop. So he might be some trouble in the locker room, but he'll work hard and still be a good player. So not a bad pick for the Packers with the with the 65th pick in the draft, so round 3. So pick 2, we're back to the Giants and Tobin. I know he's been a little bit disappointed with a few happenings this week, so hopefully things iron out a little bit better on this pick here for them. So let's see what they end up with. So that's going to be Alec Roy out of Southern Miss, and he's a cornerback. Like his speed and agility, so decent enough. This guy will definitely, definitely a contributor. Looks like he'll develop a little bit. His tackling's a little bit suspect, and obviously doesn't have the best hands. I'd want to pick up the tackling before hands if it was me, as I'm fine with pass defenses over INTs. So, anyway, not a bad pick. Alec Roy out of Southern Miss for another small school guy. Love seeing it. So not a bad pick for the Giants. So we'll move on to number 3 of the third round, and that's the Titans. Let's see what Vin. So it looks like Square Hamburgers is finally coming off the board. That's Dave Thomas. Had a stellar career at Florida. A lot of folks thought he might go higher just because he's got really great intangibles, great leader, great team player, everything you want in a quarterback. But obviously he's going to need to pick up his intelligence quite a bit. He's already got elite level accuracy, and his arm could come up quite a bit as well. And his speed and agility is fine for a pocket passer. So you don't want him to get hit, though. His hands are really low, but endurance is fine. He already knows how to play the position. So Dave Thomas, not a bad pick. Definitely, not a year 1 starter, but should develop, pretty decently. His arm's always going to be a little bit under, so he'll never end up with elite arm starting at 74. But, if you're throwing a short passing game, that's not a bad pick. If you like to even up to medium. So I usually say if I'm running medium passing, I usually say I like at least 80 for that. So he's in the realm where he could get up to that point. But if you're playing a short passing game, not a bad guy at all. So anyway, on to the Ravens. And they take Bobby Arazo, tight end out of TCU. So decent enough. He's not the best pass blocker, but run blocking is good enough. He's got decent speed, and he could pick up those hands a little bit. But up around 70 is where you want a guy, at tight end for sure. 70 hands is pretty good if you're dealing with a tight end or a running back. So not a bad pick, and looks like a guy that will develop, has great work ethic and competitiveness, so I expect he should be able to pick up some of these ratings a little bit. And if he can get those hands up to around 70, he'll be solid. But building those hands up is going to be a heck of a lot easier than building speed up. So he's got the speed and agility already. Strength is good enough for a tight end. He is a little bit undersized at 232, but not bad at all, especially if he can pick up some of that pass blocking. But yeah, not a bad pick for tight end, but he's going to be a little bit of a project. So on to the Cardinals. And Cardinals take Armand Smith, linebacker out of Boston College. And I like this guy's speed. He's a good tackler, good speed. His position skill will come up. If he can get some of that strength as well and that endurance, I mean, that's a solid player. But he's already got pro-level speed for the position. He might be a little undersized for linebacker at 226, but it's not too small that he can't play the position. It's maybe like 230, 235, 240, somewhere in there. But he's not too undersized to be unable to play the position. So not a bad pick. Guy that'll develop for sure. I mean, especially with that work ethic and competitiveness that he's maxed out on. So that's going to be a good on the field guy that likes to work in the gym. So not too bad. Moving on from them, we're on to the Vikings 3rd round pick at number 70. Let's see where they go this time. So we're going with a guard. I'd like this pick, with the issue is his strength is bad. So he's a good pass and run blocker, knows how to play the position, good work ethic and competitiveness. But his strength is low, and I don't know if he's ever going to be able to really get that to the point he needs to. And he's not like overly huge, so his strength is going to come into play. Like if he was a bigger guy at like 340 pounds or something, then maybe less strength would be all right. But he's 303, which is about average for a lineman. So that 64 strength will be a bit of an issue, and trying to build that up. So be interesting to see how the Vikings use him. On to the 49ers. 49ers take Tony Bull. So finally, wow. And he actually looks pretty dang good. So Tony Bull out of Utah, he played a lot for us. I believe we converted him from strong safety to linebacker, and he played, I think, at least 3 seasons at linebacker. But that agility is going to be great. Looks like that translated over pretty well because, like I said, he was rated as, I think he was like 83 speed type strong safety, but I like keeping faster guys like 86, 87 speed at strong safety. So he moved to linebacker. His speed is about average, but I'd say this isn't a bad pick. He just really needs to learn how to play the position. That's kind of the main issue with him. Already pro-level tackler, pro-level agility, so that'll mean he can play a little bit in the passing game. His strength's really good for a linebacker, and his size is pretty good too at 234 pounds. So pretty good pick for the 49ers, and another Utah guy off the board. I think that's the second one, so only 2 so far. Marion Wolf was the other one, but yeah, I like this player, Tony Bull. He was great. Excited to see how he develops in the pro league. So moving on to the Jets. So William Worsham out of Tennessee, another linebacker. I like this player too. Has tackling speed, agility, all above 70. Could maybe push some strength up, but this already looks like a guy who could be playing. I'm unsure why it's rating him all the way down at 70 with his ratings, because I think they're pretty good, and they'll definitely develop as well. So not a bad pick. He's probably undersized to play linebacker at 204 pounds, but will be interesting to see how he's utilized over there in New York. On to Tampa. So Tampa takes. I like this pick too. Pretty good. Takes Ted Guy out of Oregon State. Good speed for the defensive end position, especially for how big he is. 255 pounds, having 76 speed is pretty good. His agility is a little bit suspect. but his strength is decent. This is a guy I would even possibly consider moving to linebacker just because he has that 76 speed, but I'd want his agility to come up quite a bit. But it looks like he could be a pretty versatile guy. He doesn't have any training at any other position, but still could be pretty versatile and could move and kind of play a hybrid linebacker defensive end role over there for Tampa. So not a bad pick. That's not the defensive end I had in mind. That guy's still on the board. So let's see if the Giants take him with their second pick of the third round. And they're going with Paul Stafford, defensive tackle out of UCF. And that strength's good. Combined, 300 pounds. So he's a big 300-pounder. 53 speed, so average speed and agility, but his strength's good enough to play the position, and he's not undersized, so he's about average size. He'll want to get that endurance up, but overall, not a bad pick at defensive tackle, Paul Stafford out of UCF. And that takes us to the Rams. Which I think we ended up with, oh my gosh. The trade stuff is killing me. I forgot trades again. Daily Sims are getting to me. It seems like, so we'll figure out something with you guys after these picks. So, actually, I should be able to back out. Oh, no, it's probably too late. So that's Frankie Ames, defensive tackle out of at A3. So yeah, I need to remember that in case I forget it. I can actually back out of the draft and go complete the trades and then come back in. I need to remember that before I finish running Sims. So hope you all forgive me for not being the best admin when it comes to that. But anyway, on to the Patriots. And that's going to be Paul Santos from Utah, so the other Utah cornerback. And he's going to be a little bit under speed and agility. His strength's good enough. He has the intangibles. We had converted him from free safety. He's going to be a little bit too slow for that even. So he's going to be a little bit of a project. You're going to want both the speed and agility to come up, a number of points before he's really useful. So on to the Seahawks. That's Tidwell, tackle out of Louisville. And decent. His run blocking's bad. Pass blocking's good, and he'll want to come up on strength just a little bit. But overall, not a bad pick. And that brings us to the Bears at number 14. So Leroy Clark out of Virginia. Yeah, not a bad pick. His strength is in a spot where it can come up. He's going to have problems in the intangibles department, but his pass blocking is already good. He already knows how to play the position, and that strength can come up. He's going to be slow a bit, so maybe he might be worth switching to to an interior lineman rather than a tackle. But we'll see how the Bears use him. On to the Saints at number 15. That's going to be John Potter. So a little bit under on strength where you'd want him to be, but he could develop, later on. I mean, guys in the 75 to 80 range, I usually look at them as like platoon guys, backup guys, that kind of thing. But perhaps he'll boom. But what I like about this guy, especially for being a platoon-type player, is he'll actually be able to play multiple positions. So he has training at guard, training at tackle, and if you want to get him more training at center and throw him through a training camp, he's actually not going to have to take that hit in training camp where he just gets the position skill instead of any other skills. So versatile guy. Looks like he'll be able to play multiple positions on the line, and he'll likely end up being kind of a backup at every position is what I expect. So On to the last pick, and that's the Raiders. And that's Roosevelt Mason out of Ohio State. Pretty good choice, I'd say. This is a guy that's got versatility that he could even play linebacker. Strength is high enough. He's got good speed, and that tackling is high enough that he could play linebacker, and that's kind of the main thing. So, versatile guy, could play a couple different positions, on my squad. So, not a bad pick for Zach, and we'll see how Mason gets used. But that's going to conclude the rest of, or the first half of round 3. We'll pick it up again tomorrow around 5 p.m. So tune in, or 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. my time. So tune in then, and we'll finish up this third round, and then we're going to move on to kind of, just doing the whole entire round in one process, and I'm not going to stream them. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.